Oh man, gut punch delivered. Oh boy, Kraken yield another 2-goal lead late, fall in overtime. Kraken versus Oilers live post-game rapid reaction here for you guys. Thanks for being here for another episode tonight. Let's go through it. That's all we can do. Just maddening to see these leads slip away like this. But that's the way it goes. Let me check my audio levels here real quick, make sure everything's coming through. But glad to have you guys live tonight. Was trying to get some of the stats tabulated here before we hit the go button. But I'm going to take your comments here because I feel like that's going to help me get through this one. I'm a little bit beside myself right now. Evander Kane, huge down the stretch there. Hat trick, delivering the overtime victory. And the Kraken were back out on the road for, a quick game back home tomorrow. So maybe that's going to be the best medicine to wipe this away quick and back at it. But trying to find some revenge against the Oilers, and it just slipped out of their hands tonight. So let's take a few comments here as we get warmed up into the stream and vote on that poll question tonight, you guys. As we get a little bit further into this season, see how things go. The poll question tonight, despite Hakstol signing an extension last offseason, is he safe if Seattle's struggles continue? I want to hear from you guys right now. It looks like it's about 50-50. I'm not really sure on this. I've said it a few times in the past. I'm not a big, fire the coach right away type of guy. But you do start to worry just a little bit here that temperature is going to go up on the hot seat if they don't get things figured out. So let's pop up some comments on the screen. Thank you guys for being here, whether you're watching over on Twitter or here on YouTube. If you watch on YouTube, I can pop your comments up on the screen, but glad to have you either way. Daniel Allen in the chat says, this team is causing me too much pain right now. Yes, it is not fun to watch sometimes with this team, and so far early in this season, it hasn't been fun. It's been very gut-wrenching is the word I keep going to, or the phrase I keep going to tonight. And another one, just, can't believe it. Ty says, killed by a Hattie again, and I'm sure the hats were flying. I immediately closed the stream. I didn't want to watch any more of that, and did some pregame preps here. But, yeah, what can you say? Evander Kane clutch down the stretch, got into position. Kraken just kind of let it slip away there late. Striatic, good to see you back on the stream. Haven't heard from you in a little while. Probably pretty busy, I would imagine. Says, I hated the way the Oilers hit PE in the head. Yeah, Pierre-Edouard Bellemare took that elbow, and we're going to talk about that during the breakdown here. I hate the way Draisaitl pushed him around on the game-tying goal. Yeah, it was just, they got out-muscled a little bit. I feel like the Oilers just kind of brought that pressure right at the last moments when they needed to. You pull that goalie out, and you get the equalizer, and then you take that momentum into overtime. Kraken looked a little bit discombobulated, a little shook there, and it slipped away from him. Stratic also says, my guy had a rough end of that game, and it's so frustrating since he started so well. Yeah, that was a tough one. Really, it's just, we've said this a lot this year. Tough loss. Feels like they should have had this one. I felt like their effort was there and consistent. It just, right at the end, slipped away. Maybe last 5-6 minutes of the game, and, that's not full 60 just yet. We're closer. Better than taking 2 periods off completely, but again, just not quite there. Josh Schilling, great to have you back on the stream as well. Let me know in the poll, you guys, I was asking if you think Dave Hakstol is safe even after signing the extension if the Seattle struggles continue. So far, 57% say, yeah, he's safe for a while. 43% saying no coach is ever safe in the NHL. I kind of lean towards that mantra that no coach is ever safe, but I don't think anything's going to happen with Hakstol for a little while here. We're going to let things play out, let the roster get fully healed, and see where we're at from there. But thank you guys for contributing here. Keep your comments coming. Ask me some questions as we go. I'll see if I can answer them. And if you have any other thoughts to share on the team, things that you saw tonight, maybe things that I missed, let me know in the chat. I'd like to hear from you guys. Also, where are you tuning in from? Represent your hometown. That's always fun to hear the different places and reach that the channel has as it starts to grow here. So my name's Mike, Sasquatch NHL. Always good to have you guys. Win, lose, no matter what. Try to go through this as often as I can. Post-game live streams. We're going to talk about the game, recap the goals, try to feel a little bit better about it. But yeah, I was a little bit more encouraged overall tonight, but that one hurts more because it was so close and it just didn't happen. But yeah, that's how it goes, I guess. Another disappointing one. All right, so thanks for tuning in. Again, live Sasquatch Studio. It's much appreciated. If you guys are watching and you haven't hit the like button yet, please do that. Helps the video, helps the channel, and helps things as we move into the future. Stratic with the question says, why can't the Kraken hold a 2-goal lead in your opinion? So I think it's been a variety of reasons so far. Tonight was maybe a little bit different circumstance. I think the pressure got to them a little bit. When the Oilers crank up their speed, they get the sticks and the legs moving there and they pull the goalie. That's, it's tough to kind of counter that if you get hemmed in to your own end. Maybe the energy sagged a little bit. And I think that would probably be the common theme for me, Stratic, and a lot of these losses where they've yielded 2-goal leads. It's the energy, it's the focus and the detail. Energy can be a lot of things, but to me, it's more related to focus and detail. Sometimes when people say energy, you're thinking about a guy skating really fast, but for me, it's mental energy, and I feel like the Kraken let that dip a little bit in a lot of these games. Just, that attention to every moment, every play. In the NHL especially, they should know this. A lead can slip away so fast, just like it did tonight, and just like it has in the past. So that's my answer, Stratic. I really feel like it's focus and it's energy, and more so the mental energy than anything late in games. I don't think it's a conditioning thing. I mean, it seems like this team is in pretty good shape now. Maybe a few games piling up here, a lot in the last few days, and then the back-to-back tomorrow. But I feel like they're a pretty good conditioned team. But sometimes I feel like they lack that sustainability with the mental focus throughout 60 minutes, and it cost them again tonight, unfortunately. So keep the comments coming, you guys. Like I said, if you're watching over on Twitter, hop over to YouTube if you want to get your comments popped up on the screen. Otherwise, thank you for tuning in tonight. Going to give you guys my reaction, give you the recap, tell the story, just a little bit of how I saw things go for the Kraken against the Oilers tonight. Going to look at the setup coming in, the Kraken roster, a few more changes here as they start to get more healthy. The stats, we're going to look at the 3 stars, look ahead at the schedule, back at it tomorrow, Climate Pledge Arena. We'll see how things go against the Islanders. They just played the Oilers, and they're waiting for Seattle to come back home now. But yeah, that's kind of the quick summary of what we're going to go through here. Won't be too long tonight, but of course, if you guys want to chat, ask questions, leave comments along the way, we'll go, for however long you want to talk through this. But, and again, hit that like button for me as we go. Definitely helps out. Helps the channel grow. The poll so far, let's take a quick look at the results. 56% say no coach is ever safe in the NHL. So it's kind of swung now the other way. Initially, people were voting saying, yeah, he's safe for a while. But yeah, now saying no coach is ever safe. And that's kind of what I feel. But I don't think Hackstall is, quite under the radar as far as what's going to happen next just at this juncture. I think that's a down the road a little ways. But you never know. Ron Francis can be unpredictable at times. He's usually a pretty patient guy. But who knows all the factors at play in this type of situation. Let me make sure I send my live tweet announcement out over here. There we go. Now I can close that window. But yeah, a few more comments. Going to keep popping you guys up on the screen. Stratic says, I think Joey played well. This isn't on him. I think he's a much better matchup for the Oilers than Grew. I would agree. Grew's kind of struggled against the Oilers. So I liked that they went to Joey in this one. I know people always debate this going into the games, but I would anticipate Grew tomorrow just because it's a back-to-back, and Joey was, pretty solid tonight, and I don't think a lot of the Kraken woes can be blamed directly on Grew or Joey. I think it's just been a comprehensive, a lot of problems this year in a lot of moments. All right, let's get into the game day setup just a little bit. When we came into tonight, this was the look of 5-8-3 for the Kraken, trying to find a foothold and some consistency this season. Oilers came in 4-9-1. The big news there, obviously, Jay Woodcroft was just fired Sunday morning. Despite beating Seattle, they fired him the next morning, and Chris Knobloch came in as head coach now for the Oilers, has some history with Connor McDavid there, and they did win their first game, and now their second game under Knobloch. They beat the Islanders on Monday in the Kraken tonight. So they're going to move to 5-9-1. The Kraken, again, trying to forget some of these miserable games and miserable finishes that they've had. The latest was against Colorado, where they just were basically absent for the second and third period. Hackstall really challenged the team to try to find a shooting identity. They came out, they started good in that game, and then they just mustered one shot in the third period the other night against Colorado. Not good enough. So back to work tonight. They're starting to get a little healthier, and let's look at the roster here as we get healthier. You can see there, Jordan Eberle back in the lineup. So that's amazing to see. Initially, everyone was pretty worried. It sounded like it could have been, a pretty bad cut, but he's back in the lineup. He looked pretty good tonight and didn't miss much time at all. So thank goodness. You love to see a good result for player health in any situation, any team. Can't stress that enough. Braddock says, I'm feeling strangely positive about this game other than how Pierre-Edouard got attacked. The Kraken looked really solid, but then the game very quickly changed tone and style before they could react. And the Oilers, when the Oilers are good and at their best, it is hard to keep up with that speed. They just come in waves just over and over and over. It kind of reminded me of that series they had against, I think it was LA just a couple of years ago in the playoffs, where they just were relentless, and Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl put everybody on their back. It was a more comprehensive effort tonight, obviously, from the Oilers across the board, but just that intensity and the way they're able to break up ice so fast at times, it's really hard to keep up with. They were even dominant for most of the last 5 minutes, but one bad face-off, and it's over. That is fixable. And Stratic, I don't know about you, but on that face-off, I think that was when the goal was empty. It really looked like there could have been a penalty, an interference. I'm not exactly sure what I think it's interference when you get into the other center taking the face-off like that. But it looked like there was a huge tangle up right off of that. I thought it could have easily been called as a penalty, but I don't think the refs saw it the same way. They had their whistles in their pockets a little bit, but maybe let me know what you guys thought on that play. And that was what ended up tying the game. So that was kind of a heartbreaker, and yikes. Okay, so quick look at the roster. Like I was saying, Eberle's back, Brandon Tanev's back. Now we're just kind of waiting for Berkey to get back. It's probably going to be a few more weeks here. I think it was initially 6 to 8 weeks, so we're not quite there yet. Shane Wright, Winterton sent back to Coachella Valley. Podorowski called up. I mentioned I love saying that name now that I can actually do it. Called up healthy scratch tonight, but might draw into the lineup in the back-to-back. We'll see. Pierre-Edouard Bellemare got that elbow up into the face. Hopefully he's okay, but we'll have to see. He was already battling some injuries, so maybe tomorrow you get Podorowski in there, see what he can do. Give one of the guys a rest in the back-to-back. Okay, one more quick look at the poll, and then we're going to get into the goal breakdown, the recap, the rapid reaction here on the show. So far, 60% of the vote. And you guys are showing up tonight, so thank you very much for being here on the stream. If you just logged in, if you're over on Twitter, I can pop your comments up on YouTube, but I can't if you're commenting over on Twitter. But yeah, I appreciate you guys being here, and if you haven't hit that like button, please do. Helps the stream, helps the video, helps the channel. So yeah, 60% saying no coach is ever safe, and 40% saying yes, Hackstall is safe for a while. So again, who knows? I don't really know. I feel like Ron Francis really holds those cards close, and I like that, but sometimes you'd like just maybe a little bit of insight, maybe just a little feedback out to the community, like here's kind of the temperature check. Everybody get our expectations in line with where the front office is, but you don't want to play your cards if you're trying to maneuver, make a trade or something like that. So I totally get it. It's just, I wish I could be a fly on the wall sometimes. Maybe not. Maybe it wouldn't be so fun, but Strydic says maybe could have been face-off interference. See, and that's kind of where I was going with it. Hit to the Bellemare's head. Maybe could have been a major. I'm not going to blame the refs. Exactly, yeah, me neither. But the Oilers definitely took it to the line, and the refs allowed it. Yeah, I thought that the elbow to the head was pretty aggressive. I think the league might still take a look at it, maybe a fine. We'll find out tomorrow, but probably nothing. Probably nothing. All right, let's get into the breakdown. You guys keep giving me your comments. Let me know who are your 3 stars tonight, even if it's Oilers, maybe an under the radar player. I like to do that. Somebody that played a really good game but didn't stick out on the stat sheet as much. I just spilled water. Whoops. Okay, let's get into the breakdown. I'll go quick. Okay, here we go. Joey DeCord, Stuart Skinner in net for both teams. I started listening to the radio broadcast tonight. I posted that over on x.com. Do yourselves a favor, you guys. If you just watch on the television side of things, great. Just one night, maybe just one period, tune into the radio broadcast. You can cast it to any of your speakers in your house. You can walk around, you can listen, just crank it up. It's a lot of fun. I love doing that every once in a while, and they do a great job over there on the radio broadcast. Shout out to all those guys. All right, so first period, no scoring. Looked like Skinner was ready to go early on. Bjorky had a chance. Kraken a little guilty of turnovers, so Joey has to counter. He makes a save. Oilers, always dangerous in these transition plays. After a turnover, they have that quick strike ability. Got to be clean getting out of your own end, and that didn't really end up costing Seattle too much throughout the evening. I think it caught up to them late in the third, but shots through the first 7 minutes, 5 shots each, so that's a pretty good start. I got my other camera hidden here for some reason. Sorry. There we go. We'll do that. I don't know what happened there. I just went away. It was kind of like the Kraken in the second and third period the other night. They just disappeared. I don't know how that happens. Oh, there. Had a scene switch on there. We'll turn that off. Okay, first period. Back to it here. Kraken applying pressure. They start to push back a little bit. Brandon Tanev out there giving the team a huge spark. Couple of chances, almost sends one home. Kind of slid through the crease there behind Skinner, but they keep the pressure up. Tanev feeds Winberg in the slot there, and he goes back to Tanev. I think the announcers were talking about maybe just Winberg let it fly. Decent opportunity, though. But Tanev just all over the ice, that lightning bolt for Seattle, trying to lead the boys, and he's been great last couple of games. It's great to have Turbo back. 4:54 left in the first. Edmonton shoots the puck over the glass. Brett Kulak, guilty of delay a game there, so Kraken go to the power play. They don't get anything going on that one. But I did like the Kraken's even strength game early in this one and then kind of throughout. Oilers were they were a little loosey-goosey with the puck, I thought. They did get a good chance late in the first. Evander Kane went to the net and Joey stopped that one. So pretty good road period at 0-0 coming out of the first. We go to the second period now. And a lot of goals. Just a couple minutes into that frame, Dumoulin called for cross-checking. Oilers get a chance on the power play. McDavid, Draisaitl, always dangerous, but the Kraken escape here. Successful penalty kill at that moment. But just after that, Draisaitl, McDavid, they show you that, oh my gosh, skill that they have. It's just amazing. They rush up the ice. Blow my mind the way these guys can skate and shoot the puck. They're so good, so good. Rush up the ice, 3-on-2, Draisaitl to McDavid on the entry there, and McDavid, that shifty deke there, backhand. The cord kind of leaning, but this is Connor McDavid, so he scores. It's 1-0 Oilers and Seattle. Okay, so here's that moment. Are you going to be resilient? You're being tested on the road. Can you keep playing that steady game and stick to your game plan? Or is it going to fall apart? You're going to fall off the rails. So maybe some encouraging things here that we saw happen. We come out of commercial break, about 13 minutes left. Just a couple minutes past that, Kraken find that response. Matty Beniers gobbles up another turnover by Edmonton. Passes to Big Rig. He enters with speed there, passes to Eberle. Eberle shoots. Driving the net is Jared McCann. And that rebound from the Oilers goaltender goes right to McCann's shin pad, and it bounces into the net. We've got a tie game, 1-1. So I really loved that response. This is maybe some of the stuff we haven't been seeing this season. Surprised to see expected goals. Joey did not have a quality start, and Skinner had a super high quality start. Tough to get goalied in a game you score 3, but Skinner was 1.78 goals saved above expected. So yeah, Skinner was pretty good tonight. I feel like that's kind of what I'm saying. The Kraken were really good driving pressure to the net throughout the evening, and then just Edmonton with their quick striking at the end there, and it just slips away. Oh, man. Such a bummer. All right, so where are we here? It's a tie game, 1-1. we're working on a response, and we've got quite the response. McCann scores, and then right after that, cycling low. Great work by the Kraken on this. Yamamoto, Cartier, the puck comes up high. Belmar drives to the net there, and Vince Dunn snaps a bomb. I'm pretty sure Belmar got the tip and got credit. Looks like that's what the stats say too. Kraken score, so boom, boom, it's 2-1. I'm loving this response. I wish that we could see this every game, but, you know, everyone contributing on that goal. Love it. So the Kraken, they're keeping at it here. It's time just, you know, kind of flying by. We've got that lead. Get back to the attack here. We're going late stages, second period, another power play. This one gets canceled out there pretty quick. Matthew Beniers gets called for hooking just after that. That was a terrible call, but it didn't make a huge difference. So we go 4-on-4. Nothing comes out of all of that. Kraken get back to the attack now. Bjorky wins a battle along the boards. Winnie gets planted right there in front of Stuart Skinner. He spins, reverses, kind of snaps one in. It's his first goal of the year. Alex Winberg. But I don't think he's going to care after the ultimate result tonight. We open up a 2-goal lead at that point. Kraken 3-1. Again, really benefiting from being aggressive at the Oilers' net. The depth of the roster chipping in. This is what you want. It wasn't the result we wanted, but this is what you want. Ultimately, if you can get this every night, minus the last 6 minutes, you're going to be fine. Late in the second period, Edmonton called for another penalty. Nugent Hopkins goes for chipping. Seattle creating all sorts of opportunities tonight. And that's, you know, they had their legs moving. That mental energy, that focus, I think, caused Edmonton to take more penalties probably than they wanted to tonight. You got to make them chase, make mistakes, and that's what happened. So that power play carries over to the third. So we go third period now. Feeling pretty good, right? We have a lead. But it doesn't end well. Kind of a disjointed start. Tangle up right away. Ryan, Bjorkstrand both go to the box. Oilers, good job kind of killing everything off. Through all those penalties, I don't want to go through all that rundown, but this is, you know, where the Oilers have to make up some ground. They start pressing a bit, but then they're called for another penalty. Hyman goes for high sticking. Kraken, I thought, had a pretty good power play this time. Good movement, some good passing. But then Schwartz, cheats off the wall a little bit there, called for interference. So another abbreviated, I think they had like 2 or 3 power plays tonight that were cut short because they took their own penalties. The Oilers almost throw it into their own net there on the delayed call, but oh my God. So Joey, stands strong through this. Oilers get right to work on the power play, a couple of really good looks, but the Kraken kill that one off as well. So the clock winding down, 10 minutes left. Alicia Crank logging in saying, "What's up? Why do we suffer so hard in the third period? I don't know." It's so frustrating, Alicia. And I feel like tonight, the third period wasn't bad until about 6-7 minutes left. But yeah, I can't explain it. We just cannot hang on to leads. Clock winding down, 10 minutes left. Okay, so right by the benches, this is where that big, kind of blatant elbow from Adam Ernie gets up into Belmar. They only call it a 2-minute minor. I was a little surprised by that, but we'll see. Maybe a league review coming tomorrow. Maybe not. It's the NHL. Who knows? But in my opinion, that was a headshot. And I think that's one of the things we're trying to eliminate in the game. But Kraken, a little disorganized, coming through all of that. Maybe just a little bit, energy dips. And Edmonton, right away, showing urgency. McDavid blazes up the ice, gets his team set up. Evander Kane planted firmly in front of the net. Bouchard, a nice kind of shot pass from the wall there, right to Kane's stick. He scores, makes it 3-2. Kraken clinging to a 1-goal lead at this point. Of course, it's got to be another nail biter on a weeknight. I'm getting too old for this. We go down to the end. Oilers pull Skinner, get the extra attacker on. Just 1 minute left in the game, and they take command right off the face-off here. They tie it late, 3-3. Evander Kane with the tally, Ryan Nugent Hopkins and Draisaitl with the helpers there, and the Kraken have yet again yielded a 2-goal lead. Big bummer. And you could feel that momentum really, Edmonton just grabbed it and went with it, and they just kept that blistering pace going into overtime, just rush after rush, waves of pressure. I could barely keep up. And finally, they break the defense down and bring more pain to the Kraken faithful. Bouchard to Hyman, down low. Hyman over Evander Kane, just waiting, and he pots it into the net. That's a hat trick, overtime winner, and that one is just, there it is. Bouchard and Hyman assist. Evander Kane, overtime winner, and we have to take our lumps again. Kraken get a point, but there's really, that no one cares about that right now. Standings do, and that's about it. Alicia says, I don't want to say that our honeymoon is over, but yeah, no, it definitely feels that way this season so far. I feel like we were just, on cloud 9 during that playoff push, and, winning in the first round last year, kind of had some higher or at least a little bit elevated expectations coming in to this season. I thought they'd be doing, about 500 hockey here to start things, but just not quite there yet, unfortunately. And it's been a little bit disappointing to see the lapse in efforts as games progress. Tonight, not as much, but leading up to this, I've talked about it here quite a bit on the channel. I'm sure you've seen me post it. But I feel like tonight was better, but still, I feel like even though it was better, it's an even more disappointing result because you're that close. You have a 2-goal lead, and then just boom, it just gets taken away from you. The Oilers have that ability to strike fast, and that's exactly what they did. Some of the best players in the league and in the world are on that team, and their speed really came through for them. So that is the whole breakdown tonight. I thought, some of the keys tonight, I thought the Kraken maintained their game plan, regardless of result throughout, minus the 6 or 7 minutes towards the end there of the third period. And maybe we don't need to score first. Seems like when we don't score first, we do a little bit better with our effort, at least throughout the games and our attention to details. But not exactly what this team wanted or needed, another overtime loss. But I think that we can come back home tomorrow, play an Islanders team that is definitely beatable, and see what we've got left in the tank before a couple more days off. Thank you guys for being on the stream tonight. Let's go look at the stats, and then let's log out for the night and take a few minutes to soak this one all in and think about it. Because, like I said earlier in the stream, I like to get on here, do rapid reaction as often as I can. Sometimes I think about it a little bit more afterwards, and I feel worse about it. That happens sometimes too, but I do feel a little bit encouraged by this game, even though the result was super disappointing. Here's the game stats. 36 shots on goal, so much better and better consistent pace throughout. Scoring should be like voting, early and often, says Josh Silling. Love that. I kind of wanted to yell the whole stop the count thing after second period, but this is not a political podcast by any means, so I steer very clear from that territory. Alicia, my good friend, says, flying to Detroit tomorrow. We'll rep some Kraken gear. Love to hear that. Are you going to a Lions game? Is that what I heard? Let me know in the chat. Striatic, if you're still around, there's still time to give your 3 stars. Josh Silling, if you're still on, let's hear who your 3 stars, even though we lost. I don't care about the Oilers. I just want to hear your Kraken 3 stars. Yeah, and Ty, he said something earlier. I'll give him a hard time. I think Ty doesn't like to be in the chat. He likes to be on the camera, so maybe we'll have to have Ty back on soon. Oh, okay, so trying to go to the Lions game. Good for you. What's like the go-to Detroit food item? I always ask this with all my guests. I'm always curious, like the local, I know Detroit does their pizza thing, but sometimes there's other stuff. Oh, mostly for work. Bummer. Yeah, all my travel's usually for work too. Gotta pay the bills, right? There he is. Where you been, Ty? I'm at a loss, bro. Oilers were running basic schemes and we can't respond. I know. So Ty's breaking it down. I get it. It was really just, yeah, it was really that last 6 minutes. Oh, man. Yeah, we'll talk about this. Lots of text messaging will happen. Coney dogs. I thought that was a New York thing. I'm so uneducated when it comes to like good food at other places. I've traveled a lot, but I'm just like, unless somebody tells me, I have no clue. Lafayette, Coney Island. Okay. Striatic says, I'm actually positive about this game after engaging my rational brain. It is a tough way to lose, but there was a lot of positives looking at the game analytically. So maybe I'm not completely out to lunch. I'd still smile a little bit after this one because it was fun to watch our favorite team play most of the game tonight. You know, they were engaged throughout. They let it slip away. That sucks, I know. Ty, obviously, I'm not too happy with it. But, yeah, few positive things. I had to wash that game off. Laugh out loud. I was just listening for a bit. No, I know. I'm just giving you a hard time. I needed to wash my eyes out after I saw that overtime goal. I immediately closed the browser. I said, I don't want to hear the crowd or see the hats. That's being closed. Yeah. Lafayette, Coney Island. It's funny tonight because I don't think you can actually send messages on the Twitter broadcast. Has anybody tried that? I've got the overall stream messages over here. And then I've got just the YouTube messages here. Is anybody watching? If you're watching on Twitter, can you try to send a message? I'm not even sure how that works. Or not Twitter, x.com. So I'm streaming to 2 places here. Real advanced stuff. McCann, Winberg, Pierre-Edouard Belmar. I am bad at this. No, that's good. I liked McCann's game. I mean, I would throw Brandon Tanev in there because he sparked the whole team there. His energy again. But, you know, it's going to be Evander Kane up top. Okay, yeah, it won't let me. Interesting. I've heard that X is going to overhaul their whole live streaming platform at some point. But, yeah. So sorry, Twitter, or sorry, X.com users. If you're trying to send messages, you got to jump over to YouTube. But I do appreciate you guys watching. It's fun for me to be able to go through this with you guys. Provide some, you know, a little different content here. Do it a little differently than others, but that's how I roll here. Stratic says, I want Winberg in there to reward his sneaky goal. Yes. Thank goodness Winnie's on the board. I love it. First goal of the season. He almost had one last game. I thought he was going to score. Ty says, with the Oilers in shambles, I'm hesitant to celebrate positives. Yes, more shots on goal, but it was a defensive mess. So, I mean, the Oilers have won, you know, a couple in a row now. So, you know, there's a good team in there somewhere. It's just they have to play the right way. Yes, Tanev for sure. So those are kind of our picks. The face-off percentage tonight also sticks out at me, 50%, 50-50. So that's encouraging. I like that. I think that Belmar is a big part of that, obviously, as he's kind of spreading that knowledge. And, you know, you see the leadership on the team hopefully kind of engage here and push forward. Get through this hump. We got to break through this. We're not out of this yet. I'm going to remain positive here. I will be critical. I will critique the team. It's okay to do that. But I'm going to stay positive. That's generally my outlook with this team. But I think maybe you're still going to see some moves here before the turn of the calendar year in just, you know, what are we, just weeks away now, which is crazy to think about. But power play, neither team broke through. So, you know, no harm, no foul there. And block shots, 13 block shots, 20 for the Oilers. Turnovers aren't listed on this, but the Oilers did have a lot of turnovers tonight. We need a solid effort against a team that is somewhat consistent before I get too excited about anything. Yes. No, I'm with you on that. I think we've got a lot to prove here. A lot to prove. A lot of ground to make up in the standings as well. Happy Steve Irwin Day, says Ty Jacobs. Definitely. That's his it's his birth. It's like his memorial. He's no longer with us, but I think today's his birthday, right? I remember right. I think one of our Twitter or X.com friends was saying it's their Was it Rick saying his son's birthday? I don't know. I don't think Rick's on the stream, but shout out, happy birthday, Rick's son, Rick Judd. Okay, so let's look at the shots by period and then the 3 stars, and then that'll be it for tonight. There's the game flow, kind of, not quite. I like to show the Corsi flow sometimes too, but 13 shots in the first, 15 in the second, 7 in the third. But Oilers really took things over the last few minutes of the third, and then just those waves of pressure that they brought in overtime, incredible. Man, Connor McDavid, that guy, and Leon Draisaitl. And then Evander Kane, just dunking on us there at the end. You love to see that. Yeah, no. Okay, there's your 3 stars. And, of course, Evander Kane, number 1 star there, 3 goals tonight, 21 minutes of ice. Bouchard, he played a great game too. 3 assists, kind of under the radar. Maybe not the name that you would think of right away. I just threw my mouse. I'm spilling water. I'm throwing my mouse. All sorts of things are happening over here. And Jared McCann gets the 3rd star with 1 goal. So, yeah, a lot of drive for him. And Tanev, maybe, his contributions didn't come through on the stat chart, but I thought he was great and really got things going for Seattle. Let's see if he can keep that energy going tomorrow against the Islanders. Alicia says yes. I think, answering, it's Steve Irwin's birthday. So thank you guys for being here. Let's take a quick look at the standings, wrap things up, wind down, call it an evening. Rest up for tomorrow. Vegas Golden Knights 12-3-1 up top. Kraken still kind of middle ground in the division, 5-8-4. So 14 points. That's why I'm like, we're okay. We're not great. Could be worse. Josh Hunter, what's up? Lots of season remaining. It's not time to freak out. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's moments where I've wanted to, but keeping it steady over here. And how have you been, Josh? Great to hear from you. Got to have you drop by the channel as well. Here again real soon. Love talking with you. For those that don't know, the former and original PA announcer for the Seattle Kraken, Joshua Hunter, guest on the first season here when I first launched the channel. So, Josh, shout out to you. Thanks for dropping by and leaving a comment. We're just looking at the standings. I'm actually just about to wrap up here. So if you want to hit me with any thoughts you have real quick, I'll keep going just a little longer, but yeah, disappointing loss tonight, and it just kind of slipped away from the Kraken. Stratic, I don't want to give the Oilers any stars. Neither do I. I never love giving the other team stars, but I do like giving them credit. But it's not fun to award them, shiny things. I don't like doing that. All right, so let's take a quick look at the schedule coming up here, and my camera has disappeared again. I got a little work to there. There we go. I'm back. I feel like that's maybe emblematic of the Kraken so far this season. Sometimes they just disappear like that. Where'd I go? I don't know. There I am. Okay, so Oilers, that one's over. We're going to hide that one. Islanders tomorrow, and then back up to Vancouver on Saturday. So kind of alternating home and away, and then a three-game homestand starting on the 20th. The Flames, Sharks, and Canucks, and then back out on the road after that. We're going to find out real quick, I think, what this team is made of, and probably see what they can do as the schedule gets pretty aggressive here over the next few days. Kraken going to have to lick their wounds a little bit, get right back to it tomorrow. Thank you guys for listening and watching tonight. If you haven't hit the like button and you're still watching, please do. It helps out the channel. That's the last time I'll say it tonight. And subscribe if you're enjoying the stream tonight and you didn't chime in the chat. I do appreciate having you guys here. Going to keep it going. Going to stay positive. Going to stay steady here at Sasquatch NHL. But another disappointing loss. Thank you guys for helping me get through it. We'll talk again soon. Got to have you guys by on the Zoom call. Some of you regulars here. Maybe a morning cup of Kraken coming up here real soon. But yeah, keep up with me over on x.com in the meantime. That's going to do it for tonight's show. Thanks again, guys. Catch you again on another stream here at Sasquatch NHL real soon. Go Kraken.